Is this thing working? Okay, yeah, all right, it's working. The title of this video will be Making YouTube Videos. Part of the work is figuring out what to do. Well, that's so true, really. Here's where I am in this. Basically, I've spent a lot of money on equipment. I don't know how much, but it's probably been close to $1,000 now, just getting all types of cameras and accessories and things, and I really wanted to make videos, and of course I have made some videos, as you can see on my YouTube channel. But I've got this other video right now that I made just before this one that talks about the importance of performance, actor performance, or talent performance, as opposed to equipment. So I've been getting out of the equipment phase and getting into the idea that I need to work on my performance. But we can work on our performance, but that alone is not really sufficient. We also need to do some mental work. We need to be able to figure out what to do. And I know that doesn't sound like the ordinary sort of thing. For example, if I were an actor, okay, then I would be part of a group effort, and I would have other people telling me what to do, instructing me. Like, for example, if you're part of a movie making operation, so you've got a lot of people working on the staff. You've got the director, you've got the screenplay writer, you've got the camera operators, and you've got the editors, but you've got the actor. But the actor, first of all, is not working off all on his or her own, or the actress. The actor is working with other people, so you have that natural response. You've got other people around you, and you're doing something as part of this group effort. You're trying to meet other people's expectations. That is really good motivation. But another thing is you've got people working to make the whole thing happen with you. You've got people telling you what to do, providing instruction, giving instruction. But if you're just trying to make YouTube videos on your own, you have got to play all those multiple roles. As I said before in my immediately previous video on making YouTube videos, you've got to play the role of director, screenplay writer, camera operator, actor, editor, anything and everything else. But the whole point is not just that. There's a lot of mental work in figuring out what to do. For example, there are times in life, many times in life, that where or when, if we knew what to do, then all we would have to do is get down to it, get to work. And that's easy enough, because if you know what to do, then you can really put yourself to it. And the other thing, though, is the reward is unknown in YouTube videos. For example, if you knew you would be paid for something, and exactly how much and for how many hours or what task, then that would be really good incentive, and you could know how hard to work, how fast to work, and how much to do, and so on. But with YouTube, it's completely unknown. You've got this big question mark. Is anybody going to see my video? Is anybody going to watch my video? You have no idea if your video is going to get no views or almost no views. I mean, if you gain a lot of experience, I assume you can figure that out, like you can predict things. And that's part of what I'm talking about, is trying to figure out what to do. So my whole point, though, is you don't have that motivation, but that's not really my original point. My original point is you have got to figure out what to do. So that takes some mental work, some cognition. And if you're not in the habit of doing that type of mental cognitive work, that type of activity, it's something new and very different. For example, I put a lot of my mental efforts into mathematics, physics, computer science, and programming, and other subjects, in school. So my mind was sort of focused and geared on that type of scientific and other academic pursuits. But making YouTube videos involves a lot of creativity and originality. You've got to come up with something, a video idea, and you've got to write it. If it's something that you need to memorize, so it's not spontaneous, but that you know exactly what you're going to say, then you need to have that. You've got to write that out. That takes creativity. Thinking up something, writing it out is no problem. Anybody can write. I mean, just about anybody, right? So you write it out, and then you can drill it. That's easy enough. That's just simple work. You know, you just drill a few lines at a time and go over them until you've got them down, and then go on to the next few and practice and practice. And you don't have to have the paper in front of you while you're doing that. You can be out walking, taking a nice walk, and just drilling it out loud, talking out to yourself, or even doing it silently in your mind. So you can drill this stuff in and get your lines down and everything. And that's no problem. This is spontaneous, by the way. This really isn't planned. I mean, I had this idea. So the problem is not really a problem, but the question is, or the task is, thinking up the video ideas. That's not too bad, but getting the details down, thinking up the details, how you're gonna. You can have a basic idea, like this video is about the importance of focusing on being creative, but you need to have more than just a vague or generalized idea. You need to have something creative, something thought out, not just a vague idea. So you've got to think up your ideas. That's the general thing, but you've got to think up your content. That's getting into a lot more than just a vague idea or generalized idea. So that work, that's the whole point of this. There's a new kind of work. It's not something that you can easily get down to. It's mental work. And that is something that I'm trying to focus on right now, is the mental work of thinking up just not new generalized ideas, but thinking up basically the content of the video. How is this going to be something? And I have like a list of, I'm trying to remember what it is, but a list of criteria that a good YouTube video should meet, in my own personal opinion. One is, it should be a good service to the public. It should be responsible to society. It should be helpful, useful. I think it should be intelligent, and just generally promotive of good, good things for the people, like good health or good knowledge. Like if I write something on sewing up your own clothes instead of buying a new something new pair of slacks whenever your pants rip or whatever, that's something that's helpful for you, the viewer. And to throw your pants away if you just got a tear in your pants would be almost as ridiculous as buying a whole new bicycle every time you got a flat tire. So you can see the logic of that, but some people, when their pants start to go, then maybe they just throw them away. I don't know, and you can do a lot of things. So be self-sufficient, sew on your own buttons and stuff. So that's what I think is important, is working on developing that creativity, that capability to think up your videos. That's kind of where I am now. So it's not such a simple thing as having something, ready and being able to practice it and setting everything up, but you've also got to set up all your equipment and, take care of yourself too, so you can put out a good effort. But that's basically where I am right now. Hope you enjoy this video, and I'll try to get a lot more, but I do really much enjoy this. And I want to say, I told you near the beginning of this video that I've probably spent around $1,000 on just different types of cameras and equipment and accessories, thinking that, this would help me, and I think it will, because it kind of motivates, me when I spend money. But the whole point was to, to really take this on seriously and be good at making YouTube videos. But what I like best is this laptop camera, because I can see my head in the screen really well and clearly. And I think it's only got a frame rate of probably about 15 frames a second, and it's probably 1280 by 720 pixel resolution. I couldn't be sure of that, but in spite of that, it's not a super camera. This just came with my laptop. It's not a cheap laptop though, but I think it really works quite well. So I thought I'd do this to demonstrate that you don't need to go out of your way, which is what my immediately previous video says. You don't need to go out of your way to get a whole lot of new, different, and expensive equipment. What counts is your video, the ideas, the content, and your performance. You too. You don't need, though, a super expensive camera and a lot of other equipment to go with it. What you need is performance. So I'll leave you on that. That's like my previous video, but you also need, you can't just have performance. You need to be able to think up your own content, or unless you have somebody doing it for you, and think up just, not just the ideas, like I said, but basically the you know, the main backbone of the video and everything else that goes with it. All right, I'm going to cut this out now, and have a great time, everybody.